This is my first video update from Athens, Greece on this Friday midday. Let's talk about some news, and let's start things off with some breaking news, kind of breaking news. We have another US drone making its way towards the Black Sea. So far, the drone, actually, I think the drone is over the Black Sea at this moment, but so far it looks like the drone is keeping its distance from Crimea. So let's monitor what happens there, and let's see if this drone dares to approach the Crimean shoreline like the Reaper drone did the other day. And Sergei Shoigu, he actually presented, the Russian defense minister, he actually presented medals of honor to the Russian pilots of those fighter jets that took down this Reaper drone. So Shoigu presented medals to the pilots. The Pentagon came out with a statement yesterday, and it said that the U.S. did not ask Russia for an apology in connection with the UAV incident. The U.S. did not ask Russia to apologize because Russia was looking to apologize, and the U.S. said, "Apology? No, we don't need an apology." Is that kind of what the Pentagon is trying to say? Anyways, Shoigu doesn't need to worry about having to apologize because, according to this statement from the Pentagon, they're not looking for an apology. So I'm sure that's a relief to the Kremlin. China is going to, the Chinese president is going to be in Moscow on Monday. This was announced today as well. Xi Jinping, who is now serving his third term as the leader of China, it is confirmed that he will be traveling to Moscow and meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin for a 3-day meeting. That is a pretty long time for these two leaders to meet. They're going to be in Moscow. They're going to sign a bunch of bilateral agreements, and then they're going to be engaged in talks and negotiations. And you know that they're going to be talking about the situation in Ukraine. I'm sure they're going to be talking about the escalation in Taiwan. I'm positive they're going to be talking about Syria, Turkey, Assad, Erdogan, the Middle East, and how they're piecing together a more stable Middle East. That is what Russia and China are doing at this moment. You can see that they're putting the pieces of the puzzle together to bring a more peaceful and stable Middle East, to bring together a more peaceful and stable Middle East. And I'm sure they're going to be talking BRICS and strategizing, coordinating their next moves for this multipolar world order that they're putting together as well. And they're able to do all of this because the United States and the collective West, they are bogged down in Ukraine, completely obsessed and consumed with Project Ukraine. And so when you hear that it's Russia that is bogged down in Ukraine, and that Ukraine is going to be another Afghanistan to Russia, I think this is completely false. I think the reality of the situation is that the Biden White House is bogged down in Ukraine, and it's costing the U.S. dearly on the international stage. The Biden White House's obsession with Ukraine. I've said this many times in many videos. The slower Russia goes in Ukraine, the faster the collective West crumbles. It seems like that is proving to be correct. I wonder if Putin and Xi are going to talk about the USD as well, and perhaps a new reserve currency built on BRICS. BRICS could be welcoming Iran and Saudi Arabia into the club. So why not a new reserve currency to move away from dollar dominance? I wonder if that's going to be on the agenda as well, especially given all of the financial and banking difficulties that we've seen pop up over the past week. Anyway, that's a big meeting. 3 days is quite a lot of time for these two leaders to be meeting. So expect some very, very big decisions and big announcements to take place. And when Xi Jinping returns to China, from what I understand, Lula is going to be visiting Beijing. So Xi Jinping is going to be meeting with Putin, and then when he returns to China, he'll be meeting with the president of Brazil for 4 days. BRICS is, they are making some big moves, it seems. Some very big moves. What else should we talk about? How about the big election that took place in the Netherlands? And you have the BBB, 3 Bs, triple B. They won the upper Senate. Am I correct in saying that? The upper Senate, yep. The Farmer Citizens Movement scored a big win in the Netherlands yesterday. A huge loss for Mark Rutte. The new political party, the Farmer Citizens Movement, set to become the dominant party in the Netherlands' upper house of the parliament after it secured 15 Senate seats in provincial elections, stunning the political establishment. Nobody can ignore us any longer, party leader Caroline van der Plas told Dutch broadcaster Radio 1 as the results of the election became clear. Voters have spoken out clearly against the government's policy. Mark Rutte's VVD party dropped from 12 to 10 Senate seats following the vote, in what is a major blow for the Dutch coalition government, whose approval rating has sunk to 20%, its lowest such figure in a decade. Wow, 20% approval rating. That is bad. That is really bad. Man, oh man, a huge victory for the farmers' movement, a huge victory for the BBB, and a big victory for the Netherlands. Congratulations to everyone in the Netherlands. You guys are showing Europe how it's done. I am sure that the EU is plenty upset with these results. Klaus Schwab is he is probably on the phone with Mark Rutte, probably yelling at him. Mark Rutte, what are you doing? What is going on in the Netherlands? How am I going to bring about the Great Reset when I have the BBB party winning elections in the Netherlands? I can't do a Klaus Schwab voice, but man, you know that Schwab is plenty upset. Rutte is one of Schwab's favorites, isn't he? So this is a big win. This is a very, very big win in the Netherlands. So that was incredible news yesterday. Macron, another Klaus Schwab globalist young leader favorite, he decided to just forget about the parliament and forget about the democratic systems in France and this pension reform law that he's trying to pass, which I believe pushes up the pension age to, I think, 64, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, the retirement age will get pushed up to 64. Well, Macron, little Napoleon, he said, you know what, I was going to put this pension reform to a vote in Parliament to try and get it passed, but it looks like he might have lost that parliament votes. So little Napoleon said, forget about parliament. I'm just going to pass this reform myself. So Macron and the Prime Minister of France, they skipped the parliament vote and they decided to pass the pension reform bill. And this upset French citizens big time. And we had all kinds of riots and protests yesterday in France. And things got absolutely crazy. And Marine Le Pen, she came out with a statement saying that it's time to remove the prime minister. Some kind of a vote of no confidence, I believe, is what Le Pen is pushing for now. Macron invoked a special constitutional power to pass the bill. Immediately before a vote was set to take place, Prime Minister Elisabeth Borne announced the decision in the National Assembly as opposition lawmakers booed, jeered, and sang. Under the power invoked by Macron and Borne, the bill is considered passed unless a majority of lawmakers file a motion of no confidence against the government. In the next 24 hours, right-wing leader Marine Le Pen said that her National Rally Party would back such a motion, as did a number of leftist leaders. That EU democracy, rule of law. What is it? The rules-based international order. Is that what they call it all the time? Well, not for little Napoleon. Little Napoleon says, screw your rules, screw your laws. I'm going to do whatever I want. That's what little Napoleon said, and we got all kinds of riots in France. We had riots here in Greece as well. A lot of riots in Greece lately, but yesterday there was just a general strike. Even the airport was shut down. No flights were coming into Greece yesterday, and we had protests. The protests started off very peaceful, and then they turned very, very violent. And Greek citizens, they're very upset. They're still very upset over this train accident that took place a couple of weeks ago and led to the death of, I believe, 59 people, including a lot of families and young university students. And things got pretty crazy in downtown central Athens. But the protests were peaceful, and then the riot police came out, and everything just went absolutely crazy. But you know, the Greeks, they want answers to why this happened. They want to know why their railway system is such a complete mess. And I also believe that there's just a lot of anger and frustration in general in Greek society over the overall general situation in Greece at the moment. And the ruling New Democracy Party with Prime Minister Mitsotakis, there's going to be an election most likely in the summer. That's when it's going to be announced. That's how it looks. And they had a pretty good lead before this crisis, before this accident happened, and we now have this crisis in Greece. And the lead is now shrunk to, the latest polls put it at just 4 points. So the New Democracy Party is now just 4 points ahead of the second party in Greece, the Syriza, the radical left party, which is led by the former Prime Minister Alexis Tsipras. So the polls are tightening in Greece, but to be quite honest, there's really not that much difference between New Democracy, which is considered to be center right, is what they consider them, and the radical left Syriza. In my opinion, and a lot of Greeks are going to probably be very upset with me, but in my opinion, both parties are globalist, pro-EU, neoliberal parties. Just a different flavor of neoliberalism. One party is neoliberalism from the center right, another party is neoliberalism from the left. But it's globalist, pro-EU, neoliberalism nonetheless. Anyway, that is what is going on in Greece. And the protests in Georgia, check out this video that I'm going to play right now. the sound will be off, but I'm going to play the video of protests in Tbilisi, Georgia. And these were anti-EU pro-referendum protests. The people that were protesting in Tbilisi the other day, they're actually saying that this foreign agents bill should be put to a referendum vote. Their argument is that a bunch of pro-EU protesters, a small group, a couple thousand of pro-EU protesters, should not decide whether this foreign agents bill gets withdrawn. This should now be put to a nationwide referendum. And this was actually a good-sized protest. So these are people that are against the anti-EU. They're against the EU meddling in their affairs. And why am I showing this? I'm showing this because you had so many very nice, very well done imagery for the protests that were pro-EU and against the foreign agents bill. A lot of slick, well-produced videos, beautiful photography, the shiny EU flags, the large crowds in the square, the lighting. You had all of this propaganda a week ago. But now that you have protests from the other side, the mainstream media is just absolutely quiet about it, and you're not getting any of the slick imagery and video production from the collective West mainstream media on the anti-EU protests. I just thought I would bring that up. And Blinken is wrapping up his tour of Africa. And I'm sorry, Africa, that you had to have Blinken touring your continent, but Blinken was in Africa, and according to Bloomberg, Blinken said that African nations are being endangered by the Wagner guys, by the Wagner group. That is what Blinken said. Wagner is the problem in Africa. He said that the Kremlin-linked mercenaries worsen the security on the continent. That's right, Wagner. Wagner's the issue. That's the problem. That's the problem with Africa at the moment, right? Right, Blinken? It's Wagner. Anyway, what else? What else? I think I'll make this video a quick video. Let's do some clown worlds. Let's see here. What clown worlds do I have? I think I've got two clown worlds today. The one clown world is from Czech Republic, and a Czech court. They arrested 9 people for endorsing Russia. They arrested 9 people for endorsing Russia. Wow. In the Czech Republic, 9 people were convicted of supporting Russia. Of these, 8 received fines and suspended sentences, and 1 received 9 months in prison for social media posts in support of the special military operation. But the Czech Republic, they're not a party to this war. But they're arresting people who decide to endorse Russia in this SMO. Okay. Whatever. And we have another clown world. And this one is another visit to Zelensky by the Prime Minister of Iceland, Katrín Jakobsdóttir. She traveled to Kiev and she visited Zelensky, and you can see the video right now. And why is this a clown world? Well, this is a clown world because she's shaking Zelensky's hand and she's carrying a big purse with her. She brought a purse to the meeting with Zelensky, and I wonder if that purse had some money for Zelensky. I'm joking. I just think it's funny. I just think it's a funny visual that the Prime Minister of Iceland met with Zelensky, and you can see her walking into the meeting with Zelensky, and she's carrying this big purse. Nice to meet you, Prime Minister of Iceland. Very nice to meet you. That purse has some money for me. Yes, money. I have some homes that I would like to buy in Iceland. Zelensky's eyes lit up when he saw a purse. He was probably, oh, cash. Cash. She brought cash. My favorite, cash. Oh, man. Anyway, that's the video. Everybody, theduran.locals.com. Go to the Duran shop, 10% off. Use the code. Good day. Take care.